I don't think people understand how mundane and how boring
Holy fuck.
sniper operations actually are.
Yeah.
And I'm not a schoolhouse sniper. I've done a lot of sniper missions, and it's exhausting, and it's boring,
Yeah.
and you're out there for a long time for about 30 seconds of excitement.
Yeah, exactly.
But do you want to go into why that job is so mentally exhausting, even though you're just laying there?
Yeah, so it's crazy because it is all mental. Like other than stiffness from just sitting or laying there, we had a loophole or like an observation hole really cut through a wall back in the hotel, so we could like our to get into where we were observing from. We actually had two places because we were there, like I was saying, with some of the guys from the squadron, and we would split up arcs, sniper team and squadron guys, and we'd be just like watching, reporting, just seeing what was happening. So lots of times it was just like sitting there, just staring through a scope. Now it's tiring for a whole bunch of different reasons. One, it can be very boring. Like the excitement of a new OP wears off when nothing happens for days quite quickly. And then there's eye strain with just looking through optics all the time. Like you're looking through a spotting scope because the distance we were like for hours and hours and hours, and then you're like switching eyes and this one's all fucking blurry. You're like trying to, and you just, it's tiring on your eyes and tiring mentally to try and stay focused for that long, days and days, and you're rotating in, you go back, like, have a coffee and fucking a bite to eat or whatever, and then switch back and you're back on the scope. And like I said, it wasn't supposed to go the 50 some days that we were there. Every time we went, it was like, oh, this is the time. Like the Iraqis are ready to push, and then it just wouldn't happen for some reason. I'd be like, okay. And then it'd be 4 days of just watching people come out and farm, go back in. There was some drop, like airstrikes, that kept it a little bit interesting from time to time.
What were some of the things you guys were seeing? So, I mean, just to paint this into a perspective, like if anybody's deer hunted, it's that boring, but you have to be more attentive because you're not just waiting for a deer to come out. There's already hundreds of deer out.
Yeah.
And you're waiting for this specific one. So you have to be on top of your game at all times, or you're going to miss the one.
You're going to miss your
and so it's not like you're just waiting for some movement.
Yeah.
You have to really be
and
paying
there's
attention.
tons of movement too, so you have to decipher. It's a city on the other side. So like we would see people come from this house, go farm, go back, drive around. But then you would see like an armed person. You're like, oh, that could be a fighter. And then just the day-to-day life, because ISIS was running around all over the place. Like they had their flags up in certain buildings. They were moving around, but it's just like it's mixed in a fucking city. So trying to decipher that, and then really, again, the responsibility is if you're fucking calling a bomb on something, like that's a lot of responsibility because there's you from every angle that you can see, and time and movement, who's coming in and out. Like you're having to give an assessment that there's no civilians in there. Like there's, because you have to be as sure as you can be that it's just ISIS in there.
What are some activities that you guys would witness that would render a cleared hot?
Well, it would be places that we just see fighters going in and out of constantly, but then you would have to see no civilian movement. And I can't remember what it was, but it was like a certain time period, and there's a bunch of categories of targets, which I also don't remember. But there was like a bunch of criteria, and then there was your own, like, I want to be fucking sure. Do you know what I mean? So you're like,
I guess what I'm
give
asking
it that.
is, how would you differentiate? I mean, if you're looking at, you're looking at, I mean, you're saying a minimum of 2,000 meters.
Yeah.
And so what is it that these guys had that identified them as an ISIS fighter rather than a farmer?
Oh, they open carried.
So anybody with a weapon?
Oh yeah. Well, it was also, it's hard to explain and it was interesting to see the people who live there, and when there would be movement, like so when the Iraqis started pushing, or days before, like when things were building, you would see them come into a part of town and just be fucking villainous. Like they're tacked up, like they have fighting gear and stuff, trucks with guns or whatever. But like they would just, it was so obvious to see the demeanor of them coming in, taking over houses, like building up defensive positions and stuff like that. Like you'd be like, I know that this family comes out of this house every day, goes to the field. There's a woman, a man, you know, they have some kids. And then it's like that house, you witness it being like taken, boarded up, like fucking scram. We're using this now. Like, and it was like cartoon character villains. Like you would just see it come and you're like, it was so easy to distinguish that, other than even they were carrying guns and shit. But like, I think even without that, because sometimes there would be people, I'm like, that guy is a fighter for sure. Just how he was acting, or you could tell. Now, I'm not going to take that risk with a shot until he's armed, but like, you can tell. We've been watching this village. So it was like, the edge of the river was all farming basically. And it pushed back to like the town would start, and it was almost like a village, and Mosul was in, and the city center was kind of off and down to our left as we were looking at it. So it was like farming into a village, into the city. We're looking at these people every day, all day, and we're like, you kind of know even who's coming in and out and around. But like when the ISIS guys would roll in, it was just like, just so fucking villains. It was crazy.
Interesting.
Yeah.
When is the? It may have been the world record shot, but when is the first time that you got immediate feedback from somebody that you killed? Meaning you saw them hit.
That was that one. Well, no, but I was a spotter on this shot.
Okay.
So there's something about this shot that like, it's interesting because the news got it wrong. Anything that's out there got it completely wrong. Sniping is very much a team sport. We had shooters set up. So, sorry, I'll back up a bit. Once the push actually happened of the Iraqis pushing from the north-south to try and get ISIS kind of out the south end of the city, but really it ended up being very concentrated in like the city center. When that started, it was like you're just watching a battle. There's like Humvees, they're fucking sending V-bids. There's like everything they have. There's choppers, there's fucking soldiers on the street. So we're perpendicular watching this fight happen in front of us. So when that started, we came like from behind the little opening, and we set up like on these big tables, like still sucked in a little bit to the window, but like we were in a fight. We weren't so concerned being 3.5 kilometers away that they're gonna be like taking fire from Iraqis and be like, oh, maybe someone's over there. It's just it appeared to be very confusing for them. So the first day they started pushing, it was still a little bit out of range for us. We sent some rounds at V-bids that were like, because we would hear over like, what's it called, like ICOM chatter, that they're doing it. We're seeing, I can't remember if it was live or like the same day, like videos they were posting about it, and you'd see it drive down, and these fucking V-bid, like vehicle-borne IED explosions were insane. Like none of the airstrikes compare to these things going off.
Oh, okay.
Fucking shake everything. We're 3 kilometers, 4 kilometers away. It's just like everything, boom. Damn. Crazy huge explosion. So we there was a couple of rounds fired at these guys, like, because we knew that like we could see them. They're trying to get to where the Iraqis are as close as possible and set these things off. So we're like, maybe this API round will get it early or whatever. It was super, that was like 4K away. That was like getting up the hill. So it was probably just around 4 kilometers. It was getting really hard to see where those like
Damn.
the corrections would be given. I think it was the second day. So the fighting was an interesting like time frame. It would be super early morning till like lunchtime, and then it would just like die right down just after lunch maybe. So that day started the routine of like our sniper team. Both teams would be up on the guns on the glass super early, like 4 o'clock in the morning. At 1 o'clock, we'd almost go back to like OP routine, like switching through watching. It took a couple days to figure that out, but it was just, I found it strange that I'm like, we're just stopping like after lunchtime, like, and everyone.
Yeah.
It's like there's a little bits of movement here and there, but I'm like, it is weird.
It jives. I interviewed another guy who was there around that time frame. He actually painted these.
Oh, okay.
He was at SEAL JTF, and he said the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Good morning. It was hot.
And so we would get like, we would either be ready to go or someone would come wake us up. Like they're moving, and the sniper would just get on the guns and start going. So Vivit's far out. The fight sort of started angling towards us, and one of the guys. So there's 2 teams, and we rotated. So my buddy was on the gun. I was spotting. Our TL was spotting on the gun. Hit a guy with a ricochet at like, I don't know, probably around 3,600. And we're like, holy shit. Like, we're trying to guide the fight with sniper fire. We're thinking we can hit these guys. Like, these guns are accurate. We're on everything. We know all the fucking ranges and all the dope. Like, this is like the pinnacle of all the things we've been ready for. But the first time, like, you see someone get hit at 35, whatever it was. I don't know the exact range of that one. We're like, fucking crazy. A ricochet, like, hit the guy in the leg. They had these motorbikes that went around the fucking battlefield picking up their injured and, like, bringing them back somewhere. Like, wow. And it just kind of started creeping forward. And so for the longest confirmed shot, that was, oh man, I want to say it was like mid-morning, the second day of the push maybe. There was a building some fighters retreated to. So the Iraqis were pushing, you could see them, you could see ISIS firing. A couple sniper rounds, they ran into this building. We'd see no civilian movement there at all, like, I don't even think ever in that whole thing. So there's like 3 or 4 guys in there. We called an airstrike, and it was like a dud. It was just like, I can't remember what you call it, but like fuck all happened. And we're like, well, but then this fighter out of the second story starts lowering his assault vest and his AK, and I saw it, and I was like, okay, corner of, I can't even remember what we were calling it. I'm like, guys there, simultaneously telling the same thing. Like, the guy's coming out, there he is, here's your dope, wing call, send it. And it's like just under 10-second flight time.
10 seconds?
Yeah, it's like 9 point something second flight time.
You guys have this calculated out? You know how long it's going to take to get there?
Yeah, oh yeah.
There's 3 of them. There's 4 of them. Yes! Fucking right! Keep going. Did he kill him? Yep.
Well, you have to.
Yeah, I'm not a sniper.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay. Sorry.
You know?
Yeah. Like, time of flight is super important because it gives you a lead if someone's moving. It gives you, like, is it even, like, if a guy's running, you're like, it's useless to shoot at him. If 10 seconds later he's fucking fast 80 meters down the road.